This episode of the Marketing One podcast is sponsored by Riverside.fm, the leading platform to record studio quality podcasts from anywhere. More than 70,000 other podcasts use Riverside, including myself, the Pivot to Balance podcast, Gary Vee, and companies like Spotify and even the New York Times. What's amazing about Riverside is that when you are recording a podcast or remote interview, recording is independent of Wi-Fi stability, which is huge because content is recorded locally, which ensures reliable and uncompressed content quality. It's basically a studio inside your browser, and it is super intuitive and easy to use. Once your recording is done, you'll automatically be able to download separate audio and video tracks and edit your content with a few clicks. Riverside.fm also has Magic AI, which helps you create videos for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels. So if you haven't yet given Riverside a try, visit riverside.fm and use my code AK15, which is AKAY15, to start recording studio quality sound and video and get 15% off of a membership plan. Now, let's dive into the episode. Hello and welcome to the Marketing Woman podcast. I'm your host, Anusha Khannan, and I'm so excited to have you here. Are you looking to move into marketing or want to learn marketing from scratch? We discuss all things marketing, analytics, business, personal branding, and much more in a way any layman can understand. If you're new here, make sure to follow along and get on that email list by visiting tmw.anushakhannan.com. And now, let's dive in. Before we get into this week's episode, I want to talk about what I've been up to these past couple of weeks. I mentioned in my last bi-weekly catch-up that I will be picking up a new book called Level Up by Rob Dial, who's one of my favorite podcasters in the entire world. And that's exactly what I did. I pre-ordered his book the minute he started dropping hints here and there on his podcast saying, hey, I'm writing a book, it's coming out soon. And I was very excited for it. And I pre-ordered it the minute he said that it's available. And yeah, I read that book and I expected nothing less from him. It was really good. I really love this book. It's called Level Up by Rob Dial. And it's a book about how to get focused, stop procrastinating, and upgrade your life. It has 3 parts in it, and I would absolutely recommend it to anybody that is into, leveling up your life. And it's 2024, and if you're someone that's looking to upgrade your life a little bit, this book is definitely a key factor. I absolutely love this book. But that's all I've done, these last couple of weeks. I have been reading this book. I have just been getting into the holiday season, just recharging, resetting a little bit. And it's a good time for all of us to kind of take a break and also focus on things that are important, recalibrate and focus on what's important, right? And if you're into habit building, mindset, and all of that, I also have another podcast called the Pivot to Balance podcast. Go ahead and listen to that. It's in the description if you want to check it out. But with that, let's get into today's episode. In today's episode, we're going to talk about multi-touch attribution, and we will take a B2B company called ABC, for example, and we'll look at how they're accelerating growth and why this is such an important concept in marketing. Let's say that ABC Solutions is a B2B software company. I don't know if this company really exists. I don't mean to call out any companies here, but let's say that it does. Let's say that ABC is a company, a cloud-based productivity software company, and they're looking to increase their market share and customer base. Let's say this is the goal. So in order to accomplish this, they have multiple marketing efforts in place, but it's very important for a company to know which of these marketing efforts are working, right? For example, I always compare attribution to networking. Let's say that I am trying to find a mentor and I am in all of these networking events and I'm trying to find someone, but there are so many ways for me to find someone in the industry for different purposes. I could have mentors for different purposes, right? So I'm trying to find someone. I could meet them at a coffee shop. I could meet them at a networking event. I could meet them at a job fair. I could meet them in my company. I could meet them through the podcast. There are so many different ways for me to meet someone. And I think it's important to recognize the people that I have met. How did I meet these people? How did I connect with them? Was it through LinkedIn? Did I meet them in person? Was it through school? Was it through my work? Was it through the podcasts that I do? There are so many different ways that you could network with people. So if I don't keep track of where I'm meeting these people, if I don't keep track of what came out of these interactions, I will never really have a system in place, and I will never really be able to either replicate it or avoid doing the same mistakes. That's basically what an attribution model is used. Touchpoint is nothing but how did this customer find our brand or company? That's called the first touch point. What was the first touch point that they had? How did they actually get to know about us? Did they Google search? Did they see an advertisement. There are so many different ways, right, for someone to find your brand. And it's really important for a brand to know because, for example, let's say that you're spending a couple $1,000,000 on email marketing and nobody has ever opened your emails. Nobody. What's the point in wasting money there? But let's say that you barely spend any money writing blogs, and that's how people have found your website. So if you don't know which of these things are working, it's not going to help you save money. It's not going to help you get your brand out there. It's just not how it works, right? And there's just no point in doing marketing like that. So it's very important to know your attribution model. Let's look at how ABC company could be analyzing these touch points. For example, let's say that ABC is developing multiple marketing channels. The first one could be content marketing. They could be writing blog posts, white papers, and ebooks on it. The second thing could be social media marketing. They could be posting content, reels, TikTok, so many different things about their company and the productivity tools and people using their productivity tools. The third thing could be email campaigns. Let's say that they're sending out weekly productivity hacks every single week. Let's say that they're sending very good targeted emails and they're really, really targeted. For example, let's say that people are actually looking to habit stack. They send emails personally to those people that are looking to habit stack and learn more about habit stacking. Let's say that they're sending another email to people that are looking to multitask. They don't want a habit stack. They want to multitask. They can send, how can you be productive by doing multitasking, which I don't believe in, but let's say that's the email that they're sending, right? So it's a very targeted email. And the fourth thing could be webinars and events. Let's say that they're hosting webinars on how to, get the most out of an hour meeting, how to set agenda, how to set meetings, how to take notes during a meetings. All of these things come under productivity. And they're also pitching their product in between all of these events and emails and blogs. The next thing could be, let's say that they're running Google Ads and they're paying to do that. How many people are actually looking at it? How many people are clicking on it? So many different things that you can learn from paid advertising. So these are a couple of things that, let's say that they're doing. How do they analyze these things? What are they gaining out of these things? And what are the tools that they're using to analyze in the first place? The first tool could be Google Analytics. The obvious one, everybody is using that. If you have a blog, even if you have a personal blog, it's very useful to have Google Analytics to know who's visiting your website, where are they visiting from, how do they find your website, what device are they on, what content are they interested in. All of these things are very important so you can cater to their needs. For example, how would it be if I immediately start talking about habit stacking on this podcast? That's of no relevance to the people listening to this podcast because you're here to know more about analytics and marketing. The same way it's important to segment and target your customers, right? So the only way you can do that is using analytics. You need to know why these people are on your website, why these people are looking at your software, why these people want your productivity tool, which part of the productivity tool are they looking for? Is it the templates that you have in place? Are they only interested in the free templates? Why are they not upgrading? Did they upgrade? How did they upgrade? How did you get them to upgrade to a better premium version? All of these things are important to understand so you can replicate or avoid. This is something that you need to know. That is the most important point. The second thing is CRM system. Like I said with networking, let's say that I have met a bunch of people at different events. I've met people at a cafe. I've met people through networking events. I've met people at job fairs. If I don't have a record of how I met all of these people, what the outcomes were from that meeting, if I don't track all of these things, I'll never be able to replicate them. I will never be able to not make the same mistakes that I might have made by having a conversation with these people. So it's very important to track all of these things, especially in terms of marketing. Let's forget about networking there. I'm just using that as an analogy here. And that's very important in marketing, right? Next thing is event tracking software. ABC Solutions does have a webinar marketing effort. So what can they do with that marketing? They can track the people that are attending. Did they drop off in the middle? Did they register and not show up? Why did they register? How did they find your website link to register? Why did they not show up? Did you send them a replay video after that? Did they watch that video? Did they comment? Did they get back to you? So many things that really goes into nurturing leads, right? The basic concept of understanding attribution model is to make sure you understand where your leads are coming in from. The converting part is the next part, but understanding where these leads come from is the most important part. ABC Solutions would have to identify with these touch points because they will have a great impact on how these leads are being nurtured, how these leads are being converted. All of these things are very important for this company because it does have a great impact on sales, revenue, and so many other things. Second thing is it helps them understand this content is working, this content is not working. And that goes for everything, right? Let's say that you want to be an influencer and you're trying to create content on Instagram or TikTok. If you don't understand which content is resonating with your audience and you just keep creating content that nobody wants to see, you're wasting your time and everybody else's time. So it's important for you to know which content is resonating, which content works well, which content doesn't work well, so you can work on optimizing that. The third thing is lead nurturing. Once you have a lead, it's important to personalize conversations. We've talked about this before. Personalization is such a huge thing, not just in B2C and B2B, in all different places. Everybody wants personalized experiences. For example, let's take Amazon. Whenever you exit the app and you go back onto the app, they usually say, hey, pick up where you left off, right? That's a personalized experience because you don't have to think about what was the last thing I was looking at? I can't remember what I was looking at. I know that I went to that app to buy something. I just cannot remember what it is that I went in for. But when they say, hey, this is what you were looking at, or you may also like this because you looked at A, B, and C. Because Amazon, what they do is when you go onto the app, they say, hey, you looked at this, so I think this might also be of interest to you. And that is a great way to nurture leads because you haven't converted yet. You're still a lead to them. You are interested in one or two products that they're selling, and they want you to not only buy 1, 2, but they want you to buy 4, and they're cross and upselling. And we talked about it in the last episode as well. That's why it's important to know customer analytics. And this is a part of customer analytics. Understanding attribution helps with creating great growth marketing strategies. The fourth one is sales alignment. It is so important for salespeople to understand the mentality and the psychology of customers, right? If they don't understand why these people are even interested in your business in the first place, it'll be very hard for them to pitch anything to the customer. But also, when you give really dead end, really bad leads to salespeople, they will hate you for life because nobody wants to talk to people that are really not interested. How many times have you filled a form to get a freebie? You can say that, hey, I want this. I have filled out so many forms just so I want to get the freebie, it could be a free PDF, it could be a free product or anything. But at the end of the day, I have nothing to do with their business. I don't care about their business. I'm never going to enroll in their course. I don't care about that. I just want that free form. So if the salespeople are going to get leads like that, they will never be able to convert you because you want nothing to do with their business. And it's not always the case. I do know that some people can be tempted into converting into a customer. I'm just saying in a broad sense that it might not always be applicable. So when you have attribution models in place, it's easier for salespeople to identify, okay, these people have the highest potential to convert, and it's easier for them to have that conversation. But also with the multi-touch point content and the knowledge that we gain out of that is very useful for salespeople to pitch the product and the company better. When you have a comprehensive understanding of the attribution model, it is very, very useful to create marketing strategies for salespeople. For you to optimize your entire marketing strategy, you need to know these touch points. You need to know what these people are doing in each of these touch points, what these people are not looking for, what this is resulting in. Because when ABC is focusing on this attribution model, they'll be able to increase their market share and actually have a great amount of customer base because they know their customers. If you don't know what type of customer base you have, if you don't know where these people are coming from, the business just will never be successful because you cannot just say that you're customer-centric, you actually have to be customer-centric. And whether or not you're trying to increase customer experience, which is a completely different topic, you need to understand what these people are doing. Let's say that you have a very small stationery shop. You still need to know, oh, people are interested in this brand, this pen, and they don't care about this brand and this pen. So that you can stop buying stock for that. That's basically how business is done. You need to understand what your customers are interested in, right? So all of these concepts are really nice to hear, but when you actually get into data and try to understand, hey, these people are interested in these type of tools. To conclude this episode, I think ABC Solutions, this company, will do really good at this moment because of New Year and people setting New Year resolutions. Everybody wants to be productive right at the start of the year, and I think this tool will do really great. It's a great thing for them to understand where are these people coming from, where are they not coming from, so they can replicate or avoid making the same mistakes next year, because this is a time where they are going to see a lot of people converting, but why are they converting? Where did they come from? Is it a one-time thing? What kind of a package are they going for? Is it a 1-year package? So will they renew it next year? All of these things are easier to understand when you know why these people came to your company in the first place. How did these people find your company in the first place? All of these things are very, very helpful for you to create a great marketing strategy. So marketing can never be just marketing. It has to be data-backed. It has to be data-driven. You need to understand, you need to be able to look at numbers and say the story. That's the only way it works. That's all for today. Hope you found it useful. Please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or email me at tmw@anushakaran.com. Follow me on LinkedIn to never miss my journey, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.